Good grief. Not only the people screaming, Councilman Dan Strauss, he's like, I don't understand. Why are we leaving? Why are we going to do the meeting remotely? It's like, do you not see why? This segment is brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I'm down 37 pounds on the program, and I lost most of that weight in just 2 months. There's no prepackaged meals, no counting calories, no drugs or injections. Schedule your free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. There is, I think, a desire by a majority of the Seattle City Council to do things a little bit differently than their predecessors when it comes to addressing the city's very clear and present crime crisis. A crime crisis where the bulk of it is the result of people who are high out of their mind on drugs. I mean, that is just that. You solve the drug issue. I mean, then you solve the homeless issue. You solve some of the mental health issues, frankly, that are caused by years of substance abuse. And you solve, I would guess, 80% of crime, especially in the downtown core. Things like theft and vandalism and assaults that are driven and fueled by the drug crisis. So anyway, they want to take a harder line approach to drugs, and they want, if they arrest a repeat offender, for instance, who's violating the city ordinance and smoking or shooting up drugs out in the public, they want to be able to book him in jail. And if they can't book him in jail, they're sort of like, well, what's the point? What are we really doing? And so I absolutely agree with the Seattle City Council on that. They had a critical meeting yesterday to talk about what jail they're going to be able to book criminals in. Let's listen to this very important clip from that very important meeting. Oh, that's right. The meeting had to be stopped again because people who are little children who don't want criminals to be treated like criminals, who think that if they don't get their way, then they have to throw a fit and threaten people and harass the council members and shut it down for everyone else because they've been trained to believe over the last 10, 15 years that they can do that and it's just fine. So here's a little clip of what happened prior to them leaving the council chambers and putting on the elevator music.
We are moving on. We had an hour and 20 minutes of public comment. And our council rules require 20 minutes.
You know, DPD, the Department of Public Defense, may have left, but SEIU 925 is still participating in the stakeholding.
Okay, pause, Councilmember Kettle. All right. Unfortunately, this is not working repeatedly. We have now taken 2 recesses and multiple individuals are engaging in behavior that is out of order and this meeting cannot proceed. You can continue the meeting in Sam Smith and we will continue the meeting remotely from our computers. I am now asking security to please clear chambers.
Order. I don't understand what the motion on the table is.
I'm sorry. Councilmember Strauss, the motion is we have to vote on the relocation of the meeting to remote.
Relocation of the meeting.
Why can't we just meet here if they're leaving?
Clearing the room. Why not just stay here and do it?
Point of information, Council President. I need more information before I vote on this order.
Okay. We will wait until we can see if we can clear the room. I see no objections to continuing the meeting in remote location. We will now proceed with the meeting in a remote location that I described, and we will continue the meeting at 4:30.
Good grief. Not only the people screaming, Councilman Dan Strauss, he's like, I don't understand. Why are we leaving? Why are we going to do the meeting remotely? It's like, do you not see why? And he's like, I want more information. And they try for like several more minutes to get people out of the room. It's not working. So then he's like, oh, okay, I guess we can leave. It's all a joke. It's ridiculous. And you know, the reason that they're in there shouting, and they do this all the time, right? Whenever something isn't going their way, you have this small group of activists that comes in and disrupts, chanting, shut it down. And then, oh, we've got to shut it down. I'll talk about how we should deal with people like that in a moment. But this was all over a debate around just booking some people into jail. Just booking some people into jail who are specifically repeat offenders. So those people were that upset over the concept of finding a jail that will accept the Seattle Police Department's booking specifically for repeat criminal offenders. That just shows you there's a chunk of the activist class in Seattle who doesn't want anyone going to jail. Like, they just don't want. They want lawlessness. They hate the police, all of these things. And so they threw a temper tantrum. So the city of Seattle did announce that it's going to be able to, and because it's trying to reach agreements, right? Because remember the beef they're having with the King County Jail, where the King County Jail is understaffed. And they said, well, we can't give you all the beds that we contract with you for. So they're just shopping around trying to find jail that will be able to take them. So this from the Seattle City Council blog. Seattle City Council passes legislation diversifying jail options to better address crime. A new pilot program negotiated by Mayor Bruce Harrell's team authorizes Seattle to house 20 additional misdemeanor detainees at SCORE. That's in addition to the detainees held at the King County Jail under Seattle's contract with King County. The legislation is in response to a dramatic reduction in jail spots available to the city through the King County Jail. So they're like, okay, we're just going to put at least 20 people, be able to book them in the SCORE jail, a different jail, because the downtown Seattle jail simply will not take them. So that's what all those people were so freaking upset about. And here's the thing, is like, okay, if they hadn't allowed this behavior for the last 15 years, I don't think it would have gotten so bad where they're routinely having to shut down council meetings. But every single one of those people should be trespassed. Every single one of those people should get a lawful trespass order. They were asked to leave, they wouldn't leave. And then the second, and those usually last like 6 months. I think you can get a judge to extend them out. But the second they step foot in City Hall, they're committing a crime. And I get it, that City Hall is the people's building, whatever, but that's not how you behave. And you're shutting down everyone else's voices when you do that, and you're disrupting, and it's threatening. I mean, the last time they did this, they were banging on the glass, and Sarah Nelson and one of the other new council members said, no, I want the police here. Like, I want those people arrested. And there were arrests made. But for this incident, every single one of those people who refused to leave and were causing a commotion and stopping the city council meeting from moving forward, every single one of those people should be trespassed from Seattle City Hall for at least 6 months. Their pictures should be given to all the guards at City Hall so that they know if this person comes, they have to immediately be arrested. And slowly over time, you do that to enough of them, and then just the sane people are going to be at Seattle City Council meetings. And if these people can't behave and can't voice their frustrations, which they have every right to do, they can show up. There's public testimony. That's what that was. And they can share the reasons they oppose booking repeat criminals into jail without throwing a temper tantrum. And unless they can do that, they shouldn't be allowed in Seattle City Hall. I don't see why that's controversial. It's just ridiculous, like the absolute soft on crime, soft on rioters, soft on freaking everybody approach. So Seattle is going to have to bring some of its arrestees down to the SCORE jail in Des Moines because they have no other choice. So I'm sure that Seattle police officers love that they can't just book them into the downtown King County jail. Now they got to drive them all the way to Des Moines because our city and our county are absolutely ridiculous.